Okay, here, as you can possibly see behind me in that little box, that's all the books that I ended up taking for myself from the family friend, and here they are. So first of all, I found myself a few classics, the first of which is War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy, and I got a 1960s hardcover copy of Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. Then we have two real classics. They're by Homer. We've got the Iliad and the Odyssey. Then I got myself the complete works of William Shakespeare. It is everything in one volume, which is pretty cool. The only thing I don't like about it is because they had to fit everything in one book, the writing is super small, and yeah, it's sort of spread out in, I think it's like 8 columns, or yeah, 8 columns over the 2 pages. So my eyes are going to be tested, but at least I've got them all in one volume. Yet another Robert Louis Stevenson book. This is The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, another hardcover copy. It looks sort of retro, but it was published the year I was born, so not super retro. I'm not going to tell you when I was born. Just, yeah, don't want you to make assumptions that I'm really old. Another one that looks sort of retro but isn't in publication is Jonathan Swift's Gulliver's Travels, which I'm not sure if it's going to focus because of the gold on white, but I really liked the cover. That one was pretty cool. Whereas the Robert Louis Stevenson, which is from the same publisher, it's pretty boring cover. Now this one really is an old copy. This one was published in 1949, and as you can see, it's been well loved. The spine has completely disappeared, and you can sort of see the pages are all yellowed and everything, and yeah, all that lovely stuff. But it is Charles Dickens' David Copperfield, and I've been wanting to collect a whole lot of Charles Dickens books just because I loved Oliver Twist as a kid. Oliver Twist, A Christmas Carol, they're such classics that I really needed to get some Dickens in my collection, and I was happy to see that this very retro copy of David Copperfield was in amongst this pile of, or this giant pile of books. A couple more hardcovers. I just mentioned that I am looking to grow my Charles Dickens collection, and this one was a perfect addition because, as I said before, I really loved it as a kid, and yeah, I'm really glad that I have it now. It is A Christmas Carol, and it has other short stories in there as well. It has other things in there like Mugby Junction, Mrs. Lirriper's Lodgings, and all the different little short stories that go in it. It may not be super duper old published wise, but I'm still very glad to have it in my little collection. Now this one, even though I'd never heard of it before, I thought I might pick it up and give it a read. This is D.L. Murray's Tale of Three Cities. So it's not A Tale of Two Cities, the classic, but this one is still up there in age. I mean, this edition was published in 1948. It does say when it was first published, I think. It was first published in 1940. So it looks like a huge book. How many pages has it got? It's about 638 pages, so it will take a little while to read, but I thought I'd give it a go, even though, yeah, never heard of it. If I should have, sorry. So the last hardcover I have is called The Bedside Lilliput, or Lilliput. I don't know if it's going to focus, but it is a collection of short stories and photos. And let me see here. This one here, it's got a photo here of a chook. It's called Farmyard. What else have we got? We've got some cat photos, which are always a good thing. And yeah, it has a collection, different collections of short stories. When I looked through the contents, there weren't any authors that really stood out to me as people that I know or recognize the names of. But seeing as it's a collection of short stories and sort of photos and pictures and things, I figured it would be a pretty quick read. Even if it wasn't a quick read, you'd be able to read at least a short story a night or things like that. So I decided to give that a go. A couple of paperbacks. The first one is one that I have been wanting to read for a while, and it is The Screwtape Letters by C.S. Lewis. And then I also got this one just because what it said on the back sort of sounded interesting, and it is by Ted Albury, and it's called The Crossing. Then I got 4 hardcover books that are Reader's Digest selections from sort of a few different novels. So basically they've been cut shorter to fit into a volume of various amount of books. The first one I got is called The Human Spirit, and it contains Schindler's List by Thomas Keneally, To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee, which I already have as a paperback, and The City of Joy by Dominique Lapierre. So it looks like that. Then 3 from the Reader's Digest Select editions. We've got the first one, which has 4 books in it. Has The Stockman by Rachel Treasure, Black Wind by Clive Cussler, Guilo, I think that's how you pronounce it, by Martin Booth, and The Blood-Dimmed Tide by Rennie Ayth. So it looks like that. The next one contains The Last Juror by John Grisham, The Various Haunts of Men by Susan Hill, The Codex by Douglas Preston, and The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime by Mark Haddon. And the last one contains The Broker by John Grisham, Sam's Letters to Jennifer by James Patterson, Blood Memory by Greg Ellis, and Mosaic by Shohei Khashoggi. If I'm saying that incorrectly, I apologise, but that's what that looks like there. And lastly, from that lot of books, I saw this and knew I had to pick it up. It is Women of the Bible. It's 52 Bible studies for individuals and groups. And I am really interested in, I have been interested in quite a while of doing Bible studies based on important women in the Bible. As soon as I saw this, I knew I had to snap it up. And lastly, I have 3 books from a little trip to the secondhand stores in my area. I think it was about two or 3 weeks ago. And yeah, decided to get these books. The first one is Jessica by Bryce Courtney. And I bought this because, well, I've heard the book is quite good, but also because this is the mini-series edition of the book. And on the front is Leanna Walsman, who I actually worked with once, and her brother was my boss. So I got to meet her a couple of times, and yeah, as soon as I saw this on the shelf, I recognised Leanna and thought it was a good time to start reading some Bryce Courtney. Then I also got Fetish by Tara Moss, and this is the first in the series of books that I have been reading by Tara Moss. I actually bought Siren first, and I had no idea that it was the 5th book in the series until I finished reading it, and then read the back and it said that there were more in the series, and yeah, got pretty annoyed at myself for not knowing. But I picked this up for, I don't even remember how much it was, $2. So I thought it was pretty good buy. So I now have the first 5 books in the series, so I'm quite happy with that. Oh, and also Jessica was $3. It's a bit much for a book from a secondhand shop, but it's brand new. Like, it hasn't been read, the spine is not bent or anything, so I thought it was pretty good. And then finally, even though it is a sequel and I haven't read the first book, I thought I'd pick it up because I've heard such good things about this author and about this series, so I thought I'd pick this up just in case I find the first book at some stage. But this is Rebel Angels by Libba Bray, and I'm just trying to remember who said some good things about it. I know there were a couple of YouTubers that have read Libba Bray books and really liked them, but I can't remember who they are. I'll put them down here when I remember. But yeah, I found Rebel Angels and it was half price. They originally had it for $6 and they put it down to $3. So I decided to buy it, and fingers crossed I'll be able to find the first book, which is I think it's Great and Terrible Beauty. Yeah, I think that's it. So hopefully I'll be able to find that soon. But that is it for this epic book haul. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I will talk to you guys very soon. So until next time, take care. Bye.